Ready for a deep dive into Bollywood?
Let's do it.
Today, we're taking a look at the career of Farah Khan.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's gone from choreographer to director.
It's pretty remarkable, actually. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about range,
It's,
right?
it's a big jump.
Yeah,
And she didn't just direct any films, she directed huge Bollywood blockbusters.
exactly. And when you think about the scale of Bollywood productions, it's even more impressive.
Right, the singing, the dancing, the spectacle of it all.
It's a whole other world. But Farah Khan, she just seems to command it effortlessly.
Yeah. Well, she's got this really interesting background, too. So she was born in Mumbai.
Hmm.
And get this, her family was already in the film industry.
Really?
Her dad was a stunt filmmaker.
Wow.
Yeah. And her mom came from a film family.
She was practically born on set.
Pretty much, yeah. But her childhood wasn't all glitz and glamour, you know?
Right. I imagine it's not all easy being a child of the industry, so to speak.
Yeah, there's that pressure, those expectations.
Exactly. Plus, it sounds like there were some financial struggles too, right?
Yeah. Her family went through some tough times, especially after her parents separated.
That's got to be tough no matter what industry your family's in.
Absolutely. But looking back, it seems like those challenges really shaped her drive, you know?
Makes sense. That kind of resilience often comes from overcoming obstacles early on.
It makes you wonder, did those experiences later influence the stories she told in her films?
It's hard to say for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. After all, those themes of perseverance, of beating the odds, they're pretty central to a lot of Bollywood narratives.
Right. And who better to tell those stories than someone who's lived them in some way?
Exactly. It adds a layer of authenticity, of genuine understanding that you can't really fake.
Totally. And speaking of influences, did you know that Farah Khan's fascination with dance started with Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson. Really, that's not the connection I would have expected.
I know, right? It was his Thriller video that sparked her interest in choreography.
Thriller. Wow. That's iconic. It's such a masterclass in storytelling through movement.
Right. And this was the 80s, so Bollywood choreography wasn't really incorporating Western styles as much back then.
True, it was a lot more traditional, so seeing something like Thriller must have been eye-opening for her.
Totally. And it obviously made a huge impact.
Clearly. It's like that video planted a seed, you know? And from there, her career just blossoms.
Yeah, her big break came in '92 with Jo Jito Wuhi Sikandar.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one. Full of energy.
Right. And it wasn't just about the dance moves. She had a knack for capturing the mood, the emotion of each scene through choreography.
Exactly. And she wasn't afraid to blend different styles together. Traditional Indian dance with a touch of Western influence.
And it worked. She became Bollywood's go-to choreographer, working with all the biggest stars.
And it wasn't long before Hollywood came calling, right?
Exactly. In 2002, she collaborated with Andrew Lloyd Webber on Bombay Dreams.
Now that's a big deal. Andrew Lloyd Webber, the king of musical theater.
Talk about a power duo.
Seriously. And Bombay Dreams, that was huge for bringing Bollywood to Western audiences.
Right. It showcased Farah Khan's talent on a global stage.
It proved that Bollywood choreography wasn't just some niche art form. It could hold its own on the world stage.
And it really set the stage for her next big move, from choreographer to director.
And it was a pretty big leap, right? I mean, choreographing is one thing, but directing an entire film, that's a whole other level of responsibility.
Talk about a career change. But Farah, she was up for the challenge.
Oh yeah, she dove right in.
She did. And in 2004, she made her directorial debut with Main Hoon Na.
Which, by the way, was a massive hit.
Huge. It had all the classic Farah Khan elements, the music, the dance sequences, the romance, the comedy.
She packed it all in, and it worked brilliantly.
Yeah, it really captured that Bollywood magic she's so well known for.
Absolutely. And let's not forget, Shah Rukh Khan was the lead in that film.
Right. Having Bollywood royalty star in your debut film, that's a pretty good way to make a splash.
Talk about a power move.
It was the start of a beautiful partnership.
Yeah, they just clicked creatively, you know?
They did. And their next collaboration was Om Shanti Om in 2007.
Oh, now that film was pure Bollywood extravagance.
It was like a love letter to classic Bollywood cinema.
Exactly. With these incredible dance numbers, the vibrant colors, the costumes.
And the story was great, too. It had that reincarnation element spanning across different eras of Bollywood.
Right. It was like stepping back in time, but with a modern twist.
The audiences loved it. Another box office smash for Farah Khan.
She was on a roll.
But even with all that success, her later films didn't always get the same glowing reviews, you know?
Yeah, filmmaking is tricky like that. You can't please everyone all the time.
True. And critics can be tough, especially in an industry as big and influential as Bollywood.
Right. There's always going to be scrutiny, different opinions, debates.
And Farah Khan, she definitely faced her fair share of that.
Like with Tismar Khan in 2010.
Yeah, that film got some mixed reactions, didn't it?
It did. And there were some creative differences with Akshay Kumar, the lead actor.
Oh, right. That became pretty public.
It did. But, even with all that pressure, Farah handled it all with grace and professionalism.
She did. She never let the criticism get to her.
Exactly. She just kept moving forward, kept creating.
Which is what she does best.
Exactly. But speaking of navigating tricky situations, we have to talk about her relationship with Shah Rukh Khan.
Oh, yeah. That one's had its ups and downs.
To say the least. They had that very public falling out.
Right, during the making of Happy New Year?
Yeah, rumors were flying everywhere back then.
But the thing is, they reconciled.
They did. And they did it publicly, which I think speaks volumes about their characters.
It shows a lot of maturity, being able to put aside differences and work together again.
Especially in an industry as collaborative as Bollywood.
Totally. Relationships are everything in that world.
They really are.
Yeah.
But, okay, we've talked about Farah's journey from choreographer to director, the highs, the lows. But what's she been up to lately?
Well, she's been exploring new avenues, trying different things. Like, remember Masaba on Netflix?
Oh, yeah, that show about Masaba Gupta, the fashion designer.
Yeah, and Farah directed an episode.
Get out! That's awesome.
I know, right? Talk about a departure from those big Bollywood musicals she's known for.
Totally. But that's what I love about her. She's not afraid to experiment, to step outside of her comfort zone.
Exactly. And Masaba, it's all about strong women, right? Navigating their careers, their personal lives, the whole thing.
It's like Farah Khan took everything she's learned from her own journey and poured it into that episode.
Right. It shows a real evolution for her as a director.
Absolutely. And, when you think about it, Farah's whole career has been about breaking boundaries.
Totally. I mean, she started as a choreographer, made this huge splash in Bollywood, then conquered the director's chair.
And she's done it all while staying true to herself.
Exactly. She never compromised her vision, never let anyone put her in a box.
And she's not just an inspiration for aspiring filmmakers. She's a role model for women everywhere.
Absolutely. She's proof that you can have it all. The career, the family, the success.
And the best part is she's not afraid to show the struggles along with the triumphs.
Right. Like with her social media, she gives us these little glimpses into her life as a mom.
Which is so refreshing. She's not just this untouchable icon. She's a real person with real experiences.
Exactly. And those experiences, they make her even more relatable,
Definitely. Because, let's be honest, who can't relate to the chaos of parenting?
Right. But ultimately, Farah Khan shows us that with passion, with hard work, with a little bit of that Bollywood sparkle, anything is possible.
She's an inspiration, that's for sure.
Totally. And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive into the extraordinary career of Farah Khan. From the dance floor to the director's chair, she's a true force of nature. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.